Suicidal. My girlfriend said her being alive depends on me. That I am the only reason she lives. Hello. This is very urgent matter, so I would be glad if you'd at least upvoted this post, if you can't help. I'm 20 male, in a relationship, 3 years, with a girl, 20 female, that has panic attacks, depression, anxiety. She has been suicidal before, she's talking to doctor and therapist, but there is not much said from her side. When we talked about it she said that she's not very comfortable opening to someone about anything. Last night, we were drunk, celebrating New Year's Eve together. She told me that I am the only thing that is keeping her from suicide. Note. This was not said romantically, abusively or threatening in any way. That she has nothing else to live for, and if I died, or left her, she would kill herself. It didn't really sound threatening or blackmailing, she wouldn't do that. This is serious and she knows that when she's hurting, I am hurting too. We talked about it till late morning and she finally opened to me, but the issue stands and I seriously don't know what to do. I love her, I adore her, I care for her, but on the other side I know that this is not healthy for both of us. She is gonna schedule a meeting with therapist tomorrow and I hope I can be present there so I can discuss it too. I don't want to end the relationship, but I know that if nothing changes, I will be forced to. Edit. Little info about GF. She is being treated mentally for 5-6 years with first suicidal try at 15 yo. She doesn't know which job would suit her, she doesn't even want a career. Too long did not read. My girlfriend is suicidal and she'll kill herself if I won't be by her side. I know she didn't mean it as abusive but in a way it is. It's very toxic to say that to someone. It's not fair to feel obligated to be with someone like that. She does need therapy and I am glad she is going. That's a form of mental and emotional manipulation. It's not blackmail, except that it is. Honestly, if you were in a relationship and had nothing to live for but the other person, then it's a really unhealthy relationship and you are a really unhealthy person and have nothing to offer the other person. You'd need to work on getting yourself into a better place, be happy on your own, and become a contributing member of society and in the relationship. Probably not a good idea to be in a relationship while you're doing that either. Sounds like you have a handle on that already though. You need to tell her that you aren't comfortable with that kind of pressure. You shouldn't be her sole motive for going on. That it's not healthy or sustainable. Because eventually something might happen to you out of the blue and that if she killed herself over it, there is no undoing that. You would be forced to live with that for your afterlife. Eternally stuck on the fact that her life ended early simply because you had some sort of accident. It's not a pleasant thought. And it shouldn't be pleasant to her either. She needs to find joy in life independent of you. No matter what form it comes in. My boyfriend just went through a bad divorce from a woman like this. While they were married, she quit her job, quit driving, had no hobbies or interests and threatened to kill herself early on when he wanted to call off the wedding. Over time she was controlling because he became her everything. It's not healthy. When he finally left her she threatened to kill herself again. Of course she didn't. It was manipulation. Your girlfriend needs her own things in her life. Have compassion, but she is not capable of a real relationship. Be a friend and encourage her to see a therapist and develop herself. Oh babes, that is a hard situation. I'm in the same boat as your GF, except I've not really told anyone, at all, so, I do sympathize with you X. You shouldn't be the one to bear this burden of weight. She should get some help mental health-wise X. She 100% needs to commit to therapy and stick to it. If she didn't intend to manipulate or threaten you, the thing is that's well and good. But intentions never, ever exceed impact. It may be, that she is not capable of being in relationship right now. With anyone. It's not because she's a bad person, not at all. But because you have to be okay with yourself to be present and ready for a healthy emotional relationship. She may be overfaced with the prospect of being a girlfriend. I hope she can be honest with herself and you if that's the case. If she cannot be honest, you need to be. You need a partner who can be present and able to handle all the challenges that come with a relationship. If she's not ready, that is okay. But you don't put your life on hold, or your emotional well-being in danger, to continue a relationship. Is he being too pushy? I went on a second date tonight with a man I just met. I made it clear to him before our first date that I'm not a member of hookup culture, and that I exercise total abstinence until I know someone extremely well. AKA, until I know I would be happy to be a parent with them for the next 20+ years. Grimace. We went to the zoo, then to dinner. Then we went window shopping. After that, we got ice cream. He kept saying that he was enjoying our date, and we were having nice conversations. All seemed to be going well, until we were a few miles away from my home on our return journey. Then he pulled the car off the road, and proceeded to passionately kiss me. He continued to kiss and caress me, and started trying to reach under my clothing. I firmly told him that I was happy to kiss him, but that he needed to keep his hands off of my body. He didn't listen. He just kept touching and squeezing and running his hands all over me. I repeatedly told him that I was not comfortable with this, and asked him to stop dozens of times. I also shoved him away from me multiple times. He kept laughing and saying I was just overreacting even though I was repeatedly having to remove his hand from between my legs because he kept trying to touch my joy button. After minutes of him ignoring what I was saying to him, I finally just pushed him away and said, "I feel unsafe. Take me home now." He tried to gaslight me again, saying that I was overreacting. I said I wasn't overreacting. That he had repeatedly ignored me when I said no, and that leads me to wonder what other things he would ignore my no about also. He apologized for making me feel uncomfortable, and took me home right afterward. Dear Internet. Did I actually overreact, or did I just save myself from date rape? Should I go out with him again, or cut him off completely and block all contact? Nobody should ever have to say no more than once. Boundaries are not a topic for debate. They are to be respected immediately. You absolutely did not overreact. You repeatedly drew the line and he repeatedly overstepped your line. However nice he might have seemed, it was all just for show, to draw you into that situation. I'm so sorry you were subjected to this. Cut him out of your life. You saved yourself. You set a boundary, you made your boundary clear. You reminded him of your boundary repeatedly. This guy is scum, and I'm sorry that you had to endure this. You did the right thing. He's definitely a red flag. You saved yourself. If I were you, I would stay away from guys like that. They give big rapey vibes. He was being more than too pushy. He is a creep. The second you said stop and he kept going was when he began assaulting you. I am so sorry you had to go through that sad face. It's a good thing you held your ground and said no repeatedly because it definitely could have gotten worse. You did not overreact. The first time you said no, or expressed that you didn't want him to put his hands all over your body, he should have backed off and taken you home. That he then proceeded to try and convince you multiple times that you weren't justified to feel what you felt or express your discomfort is bananas. This guy just showed you who he is and you should believe him. This is the very definition of sexual assault. There's no getting around it. You were sexually assaulted by this fellow, even if it wasn't full-on rape yet. That was a risky situation, happy you got out safely. Not accepting a no for a no is more than just pushy. It is the kind of disregard that can become dangerous. Saved yourself from date rape, period. I'm so happy you made it home safe and were able to protect yourself from that creep. Makes you wonder who else he's pressured into things who may not have had the will to advocate for themselves and just succumbed to his pressure. Fuck that guy. Boyfriend stays at my place all the time. I'm 40 female. My boyfriend 50 male of 6 months has been staying at my place 90% of the time and I've only briefly been inside his house about 5 times in the last 6 months. He doesn't contribute financially except for 1 or 2 small bags of groceries once or twice a month, around $100. He's not poor. He makes twice as much as I do. His house is 1/3 the size of mine and I have a 15-year-old, so I don't want to stay at his house. He has no kids. I already asked him about 3 times to not act like a guest and to buy and bring things he needs, but he continues to use my stuff like they don't cost money to replace. What's going on? He's your boyfriend and you're acting as a wife. Go to girlfriend again and tell him to go to his house. What's going on is that you don't enforce boundaries. Stop letting him stay at your place. Are you doing all the wife things, like cooking and laundry? He may like the service you provide, and hey, you don't charge anything. He's got it good. Can I stay at your place? No hobo. Unfortunately, you've got yourself a problem that no one but yourself can solve. Grow a spine, enforce your boundaries, and dump him if he doesn't listen. We can't do that for you, we're just internet folk. When you ignore my requests, I feel disrespected. My needs aren't getting met. You need to leave now while I re-evaluate this relationship. You need to think hard about what you're bringing to the table and how you've made me feel. I hate confrontation too. Write out everything you want to say and bring the piece of paper with you. Or just text it and kick his ass out. Lady, you have a child. You cannot be showing them that this is a perfectly acceptable way for their partner to treat them. Good luck. How does you 15-year-old daughter feel about you boyfriend being at her home all the time? Is she comfortable with having him around all the time? Do you do all the cooking and cleaning? Does he help out at all around the house? He is looking for a mommy, not a partner. He does it because you let him do it. Stop asking him and tell him. If he doesn't want to, don't let him stay. Stand your ground. You laid it out quite clearly on what is going on. What is going on is that you are not setting boundaries with him. Plus you are allowing him to be a freeloader. What do you plan to do about that? I asked my boyfriend to stop talking to a female who doesn't respect boundaries and he said no. My boyfriend and I have been dating for around a year and a half. Around 6 months ago he met a new girl who started at his work. They started to talk on social media and I had no problem with it. Soon after that, we started to talk less and he stopped calling me cute nicknames and said he was just busy with work. When I met this girl, she was constantly rubbing things in my face that apparently my boyfriend told her things but probably wasn't telling me. When I told my boyfriend I was uncomfortable, he told me he couldn't say anything because he wasn't there to hear it. Fast forward. I have now figured out that he has been sliding up on her pictures, calling her honey, and they still talk 24/7, and she will say things like, "Oh, I bet your girlfriend would get mad if we do this together, but I don't care." I've told him I would appreciate him reducing communication with her and he said no because that would be controlling, that they're just friends, and I'm being a drama queen. I don't know if I'm overreacting or not and not really sure what to do. You see the switch in his attitude. He's giving her the cute names now and talking to you less. She is getting confident and throwing it in your face. She doesn't care if she's ruining your relationship and he doesn't care either. It's about time you let him go. He doesn't have to tell you he's into her and probably is cheating on you, it's all written in your post. You just have to make the decision to kick him out. Your boyfriend is more than halfway out of this relationship. Time to pull the plug. Please break up with him. You've become the other woman in your own relationship. This is so unfair to you. Don't stay in a loveless relationship. There is no purpose in continuing with somebody who likes someone else. You asked for communication to be reduced, not stopped. He is allowing way too much. Girl, if he isn't willing to change, GTFO. Location flag, location flag, location flag, location flag, location flag. Op, he is either currently cheating or will soon start cheating. Dump him, you deserve better. 1. He stopped calling you sweet nicknames and is calling his coworker them. 2. He tells her things that he doesn't tell you and communicates more with her than with you. 3. He disrespects your relationship by choosing his relationship with his coworker over you. These are the signs and you should listen to them. Break up with him and move on. Be glad you haven't spent multiple years dating this inconsiderate jerk. That's his new GF. Stop interfering in their relationship and find someone else. Once he said no, that should have been your cue to say it's time to go. He has zero respect for you. Dump his ass, he's clearly making this chick feel as if she's better than you.